Is the weekly Bowflex Breakfast Club. Welcome to everyone. Today our topic is, as you will see, ways to make your cardio more fun. Instead of focusing on the negative, as so many articles do, I've decided that instead of saying, hey, here's workout mistakes you're making, let's change it around. Let's say, here's ways to make it better. So just a simple but subtle way, I'm going to change around kind of the topics and the way we approach things. Welcome to everyone. I have, let me make sure it's right here, Quinn on the phone. As always, she will be monitoring and reading me your comments. I'm coming to you from my office today, which is a bummer because it just dawned on me we were supposed to do the raw egg eating challenge kind of today. We will do that next week. Quinn also told me that next month is National Breakfast Month, so I'm going to prepare a different breakfast each week in September, and I want you, if you have a favorite breakfast, to email me and let me know what that is. th@teamholland.com. Let me know what your favorite breakfast is, and maybe, if I'm capable, I will try to do it. Let me know as we start each and every show with your breakfast. I still can't say that word. I don't know why I quit. It's always a difficult word for me to say. Let me know what you had for breakfast. There, for some reason that's easier. I can see people checking in. I am in my office today, not in my kitchen. Maybe that was my way of avoiding doing the eggs today, but I will do them. I promise you next week I'll be in Nantucket. I'm going to try to come to you from an interesting location on Nantucket. Interesting background, so we'll do that. But what did you have for breakfast today? Check in. Also, just check yourself present. That tells Quinn and I that you're here. And as always, even though we have a topic, this show is for your questions and comments. So anything you want to talk about, we talk about. So let me know. Anyone checking in early?
Yes, we have Joy. Joy says, good morning.
Good morning, Joy.
Aaron's checking in. He said he prefers his eggs in an omelet form. And Deborah said, oh, the bookcase, and pick a book for us, Tom.
Leave it to Deborah. I knew it. I should have thought ahead. Yes, the bookcase behind me. I am in my office. Actually, you can see Deborah right there, right? Supreme 90 Day, which Deborah did way back when, DVD series. Great breakfast. I had the same thing this morning. I actually had two, though. And see, that's a really interesting topic to bring up. Most people, as we've talked about, don't eat enough good, healthy food, right? So I worked out this morning, and I was at the gym. They have a really good kind of juice bar deli type thing right at the gym, Chelsea Piers in Stamford, Connecticut. And so I ordered, well, they had an omelet. So here's a great thing, too. So they had a egg white spinach omelet. I didn't want an omelet, but I wanted the egg white and spinach, and I wanted two. So I asked them, can you put the omelet in a wrap, and can I get two? So front load your day. We will talk about that each and every show. It's why I call this, one of the reasons, call it the Breakfast Club 2. It's homage to the movie, as well as breakfast is so important. Eating healthy is so important to achieving our fitness goals. So eat a huge breakfast. I'm giving you license to do that. Have two of whatever healthy breakfast you want. That will fuel you for the rest of the day. Okay, so super important. What else? What else have you guys had? Someone tell me a bad breakfast. Who wants to admit to that? Who had a donut? Who skipped breakfast? Let me know. We'll talk about it. There's so much misinformation out there about that, about exercising in a fasted state, things like that. Sure, you can do that. But the most important thing is consistency. The most important thing for exercise is consistency. The most important thing for eating healthy is consistency, okay? I was trying to come up, I had an idea for an article, and it was all about time, right? And this is a great way to do it, actually. It's easier to talk to you about it than to sometimes put it down pen and paper. Far too often in fitness and the articles we read about it, they put these limitations on time, right? We talked about this last week. It was a really important topic, and I want to bring it up again. You know, what's the best time to do cardio? Before or after your strength training? When's the best time to eat your protein, recovery drinks, things like that? What's most important is that you do it, okay? yes, there are certain scientific and physiological reasons for doing things at different times, but that's not what the majority of you have to worry about. If you're a professional athlete, sure. If you're someone whose career, whose livelihood depends on seconds and your athletic, prowess and productivity, then it's different. But for the vast majority of people, the vast majority of us, it just matters that we do it, that we do our exercise, that we eat healthy, and don't worry about the minutia. Don't worry about that. We'll talk about that, and you can still ask me questions. We have some people on here who are pretty high-level athletes, and that's fine. And that helps the people who are just starting out as well. It gives you something to shoot for, maybe, and it just teaches you about the extremes. Anything come up, Quinn?
We have Joy chiming in. She said she's having her oatmeal right now for breakfast.
I love it. We should have the show sponsored by an oatmeal company at this point, right?
Right. Quaker.
Right, exactly. Oatmeal is just one of the simplest. And here's the thing, guys and ladies. When I say guys, it always means everybody. I bought an enormous box of oatmeal at Costco. It must have been like 3 years ago, okay? Because I'm not even halfway through it. So when we talk about eating healthy, it doesn't have to be expensive. I just read another article where they broke it down in different ways to eat healthy. I spent some time with Deborah this weekend, amazing weekend with the charity I coach, Ironman Lake Placid. We were all up there together, and that's going to be one of the things we talk about with how to make cardio more fun, do it with other people. But Deborah's someone who... if I can share, Deborah, has her own chickens. I mean, really farm-to-table type stuff. Super healthy and can be less expensive. Yeah, yes, you have to do a little bit more planning. Yes, it's not available to everyone as easily, but you can do it. So let's start with ways to make cardio more fun. First and foremost for me, as it probably is for many of you, is just music. I have every type of music player known to man. I even have the waterproof iPod for, yes, when I swim, I want to have music. Now, not always, but that is one phenomenal way to make exercise more fun. I've been doing that since I was doing push-ups at 13 in my basement, and working out in my basement. I had the boombox. Yes, I'm older. With the cassette player. Yes, the theme from Rocky. Yes, I will be eating eggs next week when I'm back in the kitchen. And so that is just one simple way. And keep mixing it up. I mean, it's incredible. I was listening to a comedian talk about the old days of cassette players and trying to find the song you wanted and rewinding and fast forwarding and flipping it over. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about. But now with iTunes and streaming music, it's almost too easy, right? In other words, you used to get really excited when your favorite song came on the radio. So music. Whether you're on the tread climb or going for a walk, going for a run, on the elliptical, whatever. Always be safe, not on the bike, out in traffic and things like that. But be safe. And let me know, what are your ways, before I get to my ways, let me know, what are your ways that you make your cardio more fun? Let's see if any of you can surprise me. Yeah.
We got some breakfast from the crew here.
Nice.
Iron said he had chicken, sausage, and pasta for his first meal, but in his defense, he rolls out of bed, works out, and then he doesn't eat until 10 or 11. So maybe he's counting it as more of a lunch meal. Pasta for breakfast is a little strange.
It sounds strange, but you know what? I love it, Quinn, because that's what we think of as strange. I've done it too. I mean, I have had dinner for breakfast for many years, or what seems like what should be dinner, right? Yeah, and it's whatever you want to fuel your day. So that's such a great point, Quinn talking about how it seems strange. Let's get away from making it seem strange, right? I think that is one of the... When you want major change, and we need major change with the way we eat, there's a great way to do it. If you have the luxury of your family being home at breakfast time, I mean, a lot of people have it the opposite way, right? They are together at breakfast and may not be home at dinner time. Sit down and have a huge breakfast, and have pasta, have whatever. I mean, again, I'll have chicken for breakfast. I'll do some pretty crazy things, or what sounds crazy to most people. But I think that is one fundamental way we can shift the way we eat. And if you study the reasons we eat the way we did, I mean, a lot of it came from farming and agriculture and working on the farm. We don't do that anymore. So the same way we've evolved in technology and our jobs, we need to evolve in the way we approach eating. And that's a great point, that it sounds strange to Quinn and it sounds strange to most people. And I believe that is one thing we need to do, is push what we eat for dinner to breakfast. Yes, we're all busy. Yes, a lot of you get up and you got like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Get up a little earlier, prepare ahead of time, but get in as much as you can. Anyone?
Yeah, that's a great point, Tom, because I will always have breakfast for dinner, but never the other way around. So it's not as strange when you put it that way.
Right, exactly. I mean, how great is having like eggs and whatever you normally have for breakfast for dinner, right? I think we are just conditioned to maybe not want that heavy stuff early in the morning. But, a lot of triathletes, people like that who know that they're going to be training throughout the day, they will purposely, obviously, front load their day. But we can all do that, right? So, and if you do that, as we've talked about, most people take in the majority of their calories late at night. So eating late at night, the time is not what's bad for you. It's just the amount of calories that you take in. So when you focus on taking in more calories earlier in the day, you are just much less likely not only to take in more calories later in the day, but more bad calories, right? That quick fix, all the potato chips and sugar stuff. And when you do go to those things, because we still eat those things, you just won't have as many or as much, right? As many calories. So there you go. There's a perfect reason why we focus on breakfast here on the Breakfast Club, and we talk about it. And I really want you to get into that habit. If you're not into the habit of eating breakfast now, please start trying to do that. Who else? Who else has great breakfast? Let us know. What did I have this morning? Well, I told you I had those two. Actually, I take it back. I had a protein shake first, super early with a banana, and then worked out. And then about 2 hours after the protein shake, I had those 2 egg white and spinach wraps. So good. And now I'm good for a couple hours, and that's the way it should be. Another way to make cardio fun. Has anyone weighed in, Quinn? Any?
No one weighed in yet with their cardio fun tips.
Come on. Yes. So first way many of you do it is with music. The second thing, and this is the theme that we talk about each and every week here, mix it up. Just wrote an article for Bowflex that should be up today, I think, with a video about what is the difference between lists and HIIT. Okay, for those of you who don't know, LIST is kind of a not as popular or common a term for cardio. LIST is low intensity steady state, right? Low intensity steady state cardio. That's what the vast majority of people do. If you go for a walk, that is low intensity steady state. So it's just keeping the heart rate low, generally somewhere around 50% of your max. And then high intensity interval training is the exact opposite almost, right? That is high intensity intervals. So short bursts of high intensity followed by active recovery, and then repeating that over and over. Really simple with Bowflex, and this is why it's a great point, or a great example of how we bring you all different options. So the tread climber is a low intensity steady state for the most part. I mean, you can manipulate and go higher, but the tread climber, walking, great example of LIST, low intensity steady state cardio. The Bowflex Max, great example of HIIT training, right? Can you get on it and go low intensity? It's a little harder, but you can do that. But there's a great example of the difference between the two, right? Low intensity, high intensity. One additional way, a second way to make your cardio more fun is to mix it up and do both. So again, there's so many articles that say you should never do cardio is making you fat. Low intensity cardio is a waste of time. Absolutely not. You want to do both, okay? You can't do HIIT training exclusively. If you do, you will get hurt. If you do low intensity cardio, you can do that but you're just going to diminish your results over time, and you won't be as healthy as you can be. So mixing it up not only gets you greater results with your cardio, but it keeps you interested, right? If you have 20 minutes, we've talked about this, or 10 minutes, that's a great time to do high intensity, right? If you have an hour, 45 minutes, a half hour, then you do LISS, low intensity, steady state cardio.
We've got a great suggestion from Deanna. She says that to make cardio more fun, she puts on a comedy TV show while she's working out.
Such a great, and thank you for that, Deanna. Exactly. Now, if you have a home, you have a home gym. And so many people are exercising at home. My gosh, yeah. If you put on, if you have a favorite show and you're having a tough time working out, and you have a piece of cardio at home, you have a tread climb, or you have whatever, even if you don't have a piece of cardio, you can jump rope, you can run in place, you can do so many things. Again, we have so many videos and workout ideas for you on Bowflex.com, Bowflex Insider. Tell yourself that you can't watch your show without doing cardio. And how great is that? Do LISS cardio, right? Get on the tread climber, get on your treadmill, whatever you have, and just walk. Okay, so watch the show and get your cardio in at the same time. Deanna is absolutely right. I mean, such an easy and smart and fun way to get both in, to be entertained and to exercise. So super smart, super easy way to do it. I do that too. I've told you numerous times that I do my stretching and core work and even push-ups in front of the TV at night. I'm on the floor, and during commercial breaks, whatever, I'm throwing in some 2, 3, 4 minute workouts. Such a great, easy way to do it. Anyone else?
All right, Tom, we got a detailed question for you, so bear with me while I read it out here. All right, Iron asks a Training Peaks question for your 73 plan.
Yes.
When you call for a time trial bike session, is that an 80 to 100 RPM cadence with moderate resistance? For the race pace bike workouts, considering the race will be Lake Placid, is that more of a 70 to 80 RPM pace with heavy resistance considering the hills? Great
question. You know what? We're going to... yes and no. That is so over the top for so many people. I'm going to shoot you an email. I do have your email, so sometimes with this show, I will send you an email and give you all that. And it depends. There's a couple other factors in, so I don't want to give you a short answer here. But I have the question, and I will answer that after. And so what he's asking, I love it. So we're talking about biking and efficiency, and this is, again, just getting your workouts in is one thing, and then when you want to take it to the next level, there's all this cool science that he's asking about with cadence, how fast you go, and if you take spin class, this applies to that as well. But I'm going to answer that in an email because I want to give you a much longer answer. So Lake Placid, cadence, race pace, and interval work, I'll shoot you an email. And thank you for that question. Awesome question. And this is what the show's about, guys. If you have those higher level questions, I'm here to answer those for you. Some of you are just starting out, and some of you are doing an Ironman, and that's the beauty of that. And I love that we have this motley crew breakfast club. And you know what? That's actually the primary reason I wanted to call this show The Breakfast Club, because if you know the movie, what was the movie all about? It was all different people, right? And they all came together at the end, and that's what I want this group to be. I want the person who's doing the Ironman. I want the person who's getting the Bowflex Max for the first time and has never exercised. Because when you bring these disparate type people together, you guys together, there's such a cool thing that happens, all right? But when we have higher level questions, I want to answer that better. So I will get you that. Really, really cool. Who else has goals? So we just heard someone who's doing a half Ironman. What are your goals? What are your fitness goals? What are your nutrition goals? What are your exercise goals? Let us know. Saw some new stuff coming.
We have Ken chiming in. He says, "Morning, everybody." And Deborah also has a great cardio fun tip. She said, get in a group of friends that are doing the same thing. It's always fun to check in when you're done, and just knowing others are in it with you is motivating.
Deborah is a mind reader. She always knows exactly what, that was number 3, Deborah. She's right on the money. And it goes to what Deborah and I were doing this past weekend with the charity, okay? There's power in numbers. Talk about that every week. That's what this show's about. So a third way to make cardio so much more fun is to do it with other people. Whether that's a spouse, a child, as we talked about, a group, do it with all 3, okay? Join a group, take a class, get a workout partner, join a charity or do an event for a charity like we do with the MMRF. And it's not just more fun, it's more rewarding. And I'll get to the charity thing in a second. But having someone to be accountable to, having someone to work out with your cardio, it's changing, or life changing. So if you're a walker, have that walking partner and make an appointment. Make an appointment maybe twice a week, 3 times a week, once a week, whatever it is. So every Wednesday at 9 a.m. you're going to meet somewhere and you're going to go for a 3-mile walk. Okay? Every day after work you're going to meet at the gym and you're going to walk together on the treadmill. There's such value to doing that with people. And here's the other thing, you guys. If you want to take it up a notch, this goes for athletes, but also for those of you who are looking for that partner. You'll be a little selfish, but try to find a partner who's a little stronger than you are. Find a partner who's a little better than you are. Because you know what? That will give you something to shoot for. That will push you. Now, obviously, any partner is great. But if you get in a group, get just outside your comfort zone, because that's going to make you better, right? That's going to challenge you. That's going to change you. So if you can, don't shy away from joining a group or finding a partner or 2 that push you, because that will bring you even greater results. Anyone else weigh in, Quinn, on that?
Deborah's got another tip. She said do cardio with your pets. Dogs are ideal, but others could work too. Although I don't know how you would run with a hamster.
Do you have a hamster, Quinn?
I do have a hamster. They just run on their wheels. Supposedly they run like 3 to 5 miles per night, which is more than I'm doing.
There's something there. There's like a hamster workout or workout like a hamster. Yes, difficult, right? But that would be a good, put them on a little tiny leash and go for a walk outside. That would be a good view. Yes, but dogs are phenomenal. I used to, when Lucy was a puppy, I would go for a run and then I'd come back, pick her up, and do a short but really fast run with her. Deborah's absolutely right, and I think we talked about this on a show a couple shows back. It's amazing to me. We have this great wooded area near our house where people walk their dogs, and without fail, those people will make sure that their dogs get exercise, but they're not really focused on themselves. But the great thing is, it doesn't matter, right? Because if their dog's getting exercise, they are too. So Deborah is so right. Whether you're walking with your dog or performing some fun little running speed workouts with your dog, it's such a great way to do it too. And just get out and play. Find a field and run around. As we've talked about, variation is so key to keeping this fun and interesting and keeping you focused on your program and making it not exercise. I think that's the great thing. And Deborah's great example is another example that we don't have to call it exercise. You're just going out with your dog. You're going out with your kids. It's movement, it's play, it's fun. It's not a chore, and it's not something you are waiting to get finished. That is the greatest litmus test for activity, right? I was up in Lake Placid and I got bikes in and runs in, stand-up paddle boards in, and I didn't want it to be over. It wasn't like I was checking my watch and going, oh my gosh, I got 10 more minutes of this workout. It was, oh shoot, I got to return this stand-up paddle board that I rented. And so that's just a great example of mixing it up. I didn't say I have to go exercise. I thought, I want to go outside and enjoy Lake Placid. What can I do? Oh my gosh, I'm going to rent a paddleboard. I'm going to run around the lake. I'm going to go for a bike ride with Deborah. Deborah and I did 50-mile bike ride when we were up there together, which was awesome. And talk about working out with a partner, didn't want it to be over. Didn't seem, was not, it was just fun. It was really fun. So there's 4 great things. We talked about ways to make cardio more fun. Music, do it with a partner, mix it up, and, do it with your pets. Awesome. Anything new come across?
Well, we have a lot of neat suggestions for me and my hamster workouts. Iris says I should chase the hamster ball around, put the hamster in a ball and chase it around. And Deborah said to track the hamster's mileage and try to match it. Deborah, that is a lofty goal. I will try my best. I can try my best. That is a good little motivator.
That is funny. We need like a wheel that actually shows, distance traveled. I think you're onto something. Or a tiny little, a little Fitbit that goes on it.
Get some tech going in that hamster cage. I don't know how. We'll have to rig it up. I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah.
But I'm so upset because I missed Deanna's comment earlier. She, I think, probably wins bad breakfast. She said she had a Twinkie and beef jerky.
I love it. And Deanna's in Alaska, I believe. So that may be like the breakfast, the traditional breakfast out there.
Champion.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And when we have giveaways, we're gonna, that would be giveaway worthy, right? Because you are the first to admit to a great non-traditional, probably not so, but the beef jerky. You got some protein in at least, right? Offset the Twinkie. But yes, thank you. And you know what? This is all about being fun, everybody. It's about being honest. And when I had clients, when I was a personal trainer, if you weren't honest with me, I couldn't really help you, right? I needed to know what you were eating. Now I get it. We don't want to admit to everything. We talk about that frequently. But this is a great place to put it all out there, to learn from each other. And thank you, Deanna. That's awesome. You're the first one. So we need a little animal tracker, I think, Quinn, that's a great workout.
Yeah. Well, Ron chimed in and he said I could use a bike computer on the hamster wheel. So I might have to look up how that's possible.
That's the scary thing is I'm sure Ron, and some other people, Glenn, we got some really smart, triathletes generally are techie, gear focused. I'm sure there's a way to do it, and we will probably find out pretty quickly. I like that.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
We've got a great question from Daisha. She says, hello, just got here. Does it matter how much you sweat in relation to your workout? A friend encouraged me to work out in a sweatshirt to maximize my sweating.
Okay, there's actually two questions there. And Daisha, awesome question. I talk about it all the time. I've written about it a million times, and actually someone asked me the same question yesterday. So awesome, and there's 2 questions within there. Does it matter how much you sweat? No. The short answer is no. But I always qualify that by saying, well, let me give you the no first. Sweating is reliant upon a bunch of different factors, right? But just because you're not sweating doesn't mean you're not working hard, right? You can put a heart rate monitor on. You can go by perceived exertion. So the short answer is no, you don't have to be dripping sweat for you to have done a good workout, okay? There's a lot of confusion out there about that. A lot of sweating has to do with humidity and heat and a bunch of other factors. Now, if you are sweating, you're probably working out, right? So that's one thing to look for. But sweat rates are really interesting. I sweat like crazy. It's counterintuitive, but the fitter you get, the quicker you sweat and the more you sweat, because sweating cools our bodies down, right? Evaporation, the evaporation of the sweat off our skin is what cools us down. So when I'm training for a hot weather race and I'm training in hot weather, I actually train my body to start sweating as quickly as possible. I taught 2 cycling classes yesterday, and there was a puddle underneath my bike for each class because my body is there. So the short answer is no. You don't need to sweat for it to be a great workout. and so much is well, we'll just leave it at that. It doesn't matter. If you're working hard, if your heart rate's elevated, that's all that counts. Now, I think, Dacia, the second part of that is the friend told you to put on a sweatshirt to sweat more. Okay, this can be dangerous. So they have those sauna suits. They still sell them. I can't believe they do. And those are the suits that generally wrestlers used to use. And they would literally go into a sauna. Sometimes they would just sit there. Other times they would actually exercise. What are you doing there? And what is sweat? So all you're doing is you're draining your body of fluid, okay? So wrestlers needed to make weight, right? So if you put on a sweatshirt and you exercise and you sweat all this fluid out, this water, sure, the scale is going to show you that you've dropped 3 pounds. I've said this before in the show. When I go out for a 1-hour run, I lose 4 pounds of fluid. That goes back to what we were just talking about. I sweat like crazy. I've trained my body to do that. Is that fat? No. That is fluid, and I'm going to replace that fluid as soon as I can because you can cramp up. It can be dangerous. So you actually don't want to layer yourself and sweat like crazy just to make the scale move, okay? That is a technique to just make the scale move. That is not fat loss. That is water weight, and you're going to gain that right back as soon as you start hydrating and eating again. And you can potentially suffer some heat issues if you layer yourself with too much. So don't do that. It'll make you uncomfortable. Just work out normally. Work out in clothes that are comfortable, and burn fat. Don't lose water. That's the difference. Questions, Quinn?
No, but Dacia said I knew that sounded weird when she was saying it, so thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, and Dacia, thank you, because that is a great, I mean, that was 2 great questions in one. And she is just, there are a lot of people who still believe this. And this is why it's such a great third talking point, Dacia, why the scale can be not as important as we think, right? Sure, scale is a great way to get us started. We want to lose weight. We want to weigh our ideal weight. But it's not just about what that number on the scale is. What's more important is our body fat percentage, right? I can get any one of you to drop 3 to 4 pounds in a workout if we do what Dacia was talking. Put a lot of weight on you, a lot of clothes on you, get a lot of water out of you, get you to sweat, but that's not meaningful. And that's why we want to use the scale as a tool, but it's not the be-all, end-all. If you're working out hard, if you're pushing yourself, if you're doing the right kind of workouts, that's what matters. So really, really good questions. Let's have some more questions because Dacia's question is so important. Be safe. Don't wear too many clothes. No, you don't have to sweat like crazy for it to be a great workout. And the scale is one of the tools we use, but don't get down on yourself because that scale isn't moving. And the opposite, don't get too crazy and happy if you do a spin class or something like that and you drop 4 pounds because you didn't drop 4 pounds of fat. So just great way to learn. Again, everybody, 3,500 calories is generally what we need to have a deficit of to lose 1 pound of body fat. 3,500 calories. That's a lot. Okay, you can do it, but that's 500 to 1,000 a day to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Think of that. And the way to do that, when you start to break it down to the math, because that is what this is all about, is eat a little better, exercise a little more, and over time the weight will come off. That is still the best way to do it. Any other questions, comments? Let us know. You can see things coming across. Quinn, just jump in whenever you want.
No more questions, but we have some people chiming in.
Good.
Rekha says, greatly appreciated. Dora says, good morning, Tom. And Deborah said, Kim, we missed you this weekend. I don't know who Kim is, but hopefully she's watching and she'll chime in soon.
Yeah.
And that's all we got so far.
Yeah, Kim is another MMRF charity. That's what I love about this show too. We've got people who've done my videos, some people who have read the books, the charity. We've got a lot of Bowflex people. So again, this great motley crew of people coming together who can all help each other out. So you can lurk, you can jump in, but I encourage you, like Dacia's question, super helpful to everyone. And you know what's really interesting, everybody? yes, I probably answer the same 20 questions, or have been for 20 years. And that's okay. You know, I get it. There's so much confusion. And as I've said before, one of the purposes of this show is that of those 20 questions, you start to get it a little more. You start to understand, hey, breakfast is important. We've talked about it. He's talked about it way too many times. I don't eat breakfast. Maybe I should. And then maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you start doing that. Or you go, you know, I've been doing the same cardio. Maybe I should mix it up. That's what this show's about. I get it. I'm in no rush to get you guys. I don't want you to change a million things at once. That doesn't work either. I want you each and every week to make one change. One change. And you may, that one change, you may carry over week to week too. Maybe it takes you 3 weeks, 4 weeks to make a huge change. But that's what I'm here to tell you. I am the excessive moderation, as you guys know. Don't do a lot, a little bit, do a little bit, a lot. Okay, that's what will really be a recipe and a focus for you to have success for the rest of your life.
Yeah, we got some people chiming in here. Jay says, good morning all from NYC. Dora missed the topic. Dora, we're doing 5 ways to make your cardio more fun. We've already been through 4. So, Tom, I don't know if you want to recap those.
Yeah, so ways to make cardio more fun. Thank you. Hey, Jay. Hey, everybody. Dora, thank you for coming. There is no late. Just show up, as they say. And that's what I told my class yesterday. By the way, I had so much fun teaching. I taught cycling for many years, took time off, and back because I think I told you there's this great new technology for spin cycling bikes, and I may be doing a lot more work with that. Just incredible technology, so much fun. And I'm going to sneeze. That was another way to make cardio more fun. That's not one of them, though. So to recap, first and foremost, Dora, I think music. Exercise with music. I was saying I use music when I swim, when I go for runs, in the house, and keep mixing up, make new playlists, all things like that. Do it with a group, do it with friends, find some partners. Super great way to make it more fun. I jumped ahead one. The second one was mix it up. That's such a great way to make it more fun. Do some high-intensity interval training. Do some low-intensity training. Mix it up. Do some interval work. Go for, take your cardio outside. Just mix it up. And then the fourth one, we took Deborah's, and I'll give you more, obviously, but with a pet. If you have a dog, anything like that, go outside and exercise that way. So many of you have dogs, and you walk with them, mix it up. Throw the ball, run around, get that movement in any way you can and make it fun. Who else? Give us your ways. Jay, do you have one? Dora, anyone else have a way? Someone, I think Deanna was talking about she does it in front of the TV at night. What are some ways you make your cardio more fun? I want to hear. Surprise me. Oh, yeah. And we were discussing how to do it with a hamster. It's not easy.
Still have to play back for that. She's got to hear that from the beginning. Otherwise, I think she might just be a little lost.
It's out of context.
Deja said that she's been implementing what you said about doing short intervals of cardio, and it's really made the difference. She does 10 minutes of tread climbing and a dancing video, and she feels so much better now.
Made my day. When you guys give me this feedback and tell me how you're doing it, like, that makes my day. That is awesome. And thank you for sharing that, because you're giving, I keep saying it every week, you could go back and read every show, the comments, and people who are doing it, people who are changing their routines and seeing results. And there is no one way. That's what we keep hammering home here. So whether it's doing the tread climber and then doing a video and then doing the max, just doing a video, but constantly mix it up. It's incredible to me the number of people who, again, just do the same routine day in and day out. First of all, I'm impressed that they can do that, because I would be bored senseless and silly. So mix it up. My workouts now, I call them the ADD workouts. I was in the gym this morning. I was doing a strength workout. I was going from machine to machine. There was no rhyme or reason. Now, yes, I'm kind of in a maintenance phase. I've been working out for a long time, but it didn't matter how many didn't do one set right after the other. I was supersetting some things. I was doing some dumbbells. I never wait for a machine. I get up, I'll do one set on one thing, and I'll go do something else. I'll do some abs. So I'm constantly, I have no idea what I'm going to do till I get there. And that works, okay? And many of these articles we read will tell you, you have to do this, and you have to work this muscle group first, and then this muscle group. You have to do cardio, and then you can do that. No. If you're stressing your body, you are changing your body. I don't care how you do it. Yes, there's some science behind us. I'll always qualify it and say there's ways to do it differently, but what is most important is that you are challenging your body. I see comments from Jay. What's Jay up to? Did he give us some?
Yep, we have some answers from Dora and Jay. Awesome. Dora says being consistent, and Jay says he looks at action shows like WWE or wrestling while he's on the tread climber.
Jay, when I was in Lake Placid, I was in the hotel gym, and I was watching some MMA fighting. It was on, and whatever gets you going and just takes your mind off what you're doing, dissociates you maybe a little bit. Awesome. And I know people that listen to books on tape and go for a walk. How cool is that, right? I mean, you're reading, listening to a book, and you're outside and you're getting movement in. So such a great way to do it. So you don't just have to listen to music, you can listen to books now. And what's amazing to me is someone will tell me, the immediacy of what we can get today, you guys. I was in my car driving to a hockey tournament, heard about a great new book, downloaded it, listened to it during the ride up. I mean, there's so many things available to us, and then we can use those for our exercise, for our movement. So whether it's downloading new music, downloading a book, listening to podcasts. I know so many people who listen to podcasts while they're exercising. So that's just a great way. Now, let me say this too. There are times, because technology is everywhere. I am also, as much as I love music when I exercise, I also love that long workout, that crazy long run with no music, because that's where we get inside our heads, you guys. That's where we get creative. That's where we turn off the technology. So even though I love my music, and I'm sure you guys do, and we can use this technology, that actually makes our quiet time, I would argue, even more powerful, right? So yes, the same way we mix up our cardio workouts, the way we do them, I want you to mix up utilizing technology and not, because that will really work for you too. Anything new?
We've got some great comments from Dora and Deborah. Dora says, when I can do a workout without feeling it, that means it's time to switch it up. And Deborah said her one change for the weekend going forward is to ditch the cookie butter.
We talked about the cookie butter. Anyone? I'm not aware of the cookie butter. Have you heard of cookie butter, Quint?
I have heard of it. Mm-hmm. I used to be a Nutella fiend, and I had to go cold turkey because if I bought it, it was gone in a day. Yes. So that was my, I guess, nut butter of choice.
And I'm guessing I've had Nutella, so I guess you're right. I'm assuming it's similar. We talked about that. But listen, we all need to have our vices, our fun things. But that's a great thing. If you find, like Quinn said, and if you find that one thing that you enjoy, but you can't just have a little bit, then you go, maybe I need to find something else I enjoy, but I can have, maybe not the whole jar. And I'm the same way. So that's the honesty about what we eat. That's finding different things. Again, they're choices. You can still have great, fun treats, but we got to find those things that satisfy you, right? In maybe not the entire jar. And I get it, because I'm that guy too. So yes, and thank you, Deborah, for sharing the. I still have to try it. I have to try everything once. What did I try recently? The bugles. Had never had a bugle before. That was new to me. I saw some stuff fly by. Are they making fun of us?
Well, there's a lot of questions about the cookie butter and the Nutella.
Yes.
Byron says that's a lot of Nutella, and it is, which is why I had to stop eating it. Mary says, hi, sorry, she's just got home from school. She's in the UK. And Deborah said, don't forget to pick a random book. She really wants a book from the bookshelf, Tom.
All right. All right, let's see here. Let me find one that's... I did Diet Colts for you last time, right? So... All right, give me a second. I want to find one that... Yeah, no. We do a
the bookcase makes you look so studious. It's like you're in an old-timey movie. You need like a glass of scotch and like a cigar or something.
And I love, one day so I'm in my office, obviously, and there's a couch right there. That's where I take my naps. I've got my body fat scale. So next, I don't want to do it now because I'll screw it up. But yeah, I will show you the rest. But I love, and that's the thing, like I want the book. I've downloaded some books on Kindle and things like that. But I want to physically hold it, and I want to have it in my library, and this is only part of it. There's more, because it's just inspiring, and I want to go back, and I take notes, and I underline, and things like that. Dean Karnazes, some of you may know of him. When I had my radio show, first radio show many years ago, I got to interview him twice. I've met him. People actually mistake us for one another, which is interesting. But he's the guy who did 50 marathons in 50 states in 50 days. So he's an incredible guy. He is an ultra marathoner, and he's one of the first ultra marathoners who has made a career of it, and actually made a really good career out of it. Some ultra marathoners, to be totally honest, are not happy with him because he's made it a career, but why not? And he inspires a lot of people. So he has a couple books. This was the first one. It is so entertaining. If you want some good summer reading, it's backwards, isn't it? Ultra Marathon Man, okay, with the great subtitle of Confessions of an All-Night Runner. All-Night Runner? Confessions of an All-Night Runner. So Ultra Marathon Man, Dean Karnazes, he has a couple books out now. I'm actually reading, I think, his third or fourth one on the history of the marathon. But this talks about, I'll give you a little, it opens up with him talking about how he would go for nighttime runs, and he brings a phone, and he calls the pizza place. He's running on the highway, and he calls the pizza place, orders a whole pizza. And they said, where would you like it delivered to? And he says, Highway 101, mile, 62. The guy's like, what are you talking about? And he goes, Highway 101, mile 62, gives him the credit card number. The guy pulls up next to him as he's running, headlamp on, and Dean takes the whole pizza and he eats it as he runs. But it's an amazing story about how he, was having issues, how he started with fitness. It's inspiring. It's one of those great, inspiring stories. And he's an incredible guy who has pushed his body to incredible limits. So Ultra Marathon Man, that's a fun one. And each week, I like that, Deborah. If I'm in the office, I'll give you a new book each week. And yeah, go ahead.
We've got a great question from Deanna. She says her husband liked the show on Netflix, so she talked him into jogging on the treadmill while he watched, and she worked out beside him. That was the first time he used the treadmill, and his feet hurt the next day. Any tips for your feet and how they won't hurt so that she can get him to work out again?
That's such a great question. A lot of times it's too much too soon, right? So hopefully you didn't do, a lot of people will run 5 miles or 4 miles, even 3 miles the first day, first time out. In a while can be a lot. I just put my wife through a really short workout the other day, and she was super sore because she hadn't done a lot, or she hadn't done anything in a little while, right? So when we're getting back, it's again the small steps, no pun intended, and then footwear. Make sure the shoes are right, but I would just pull it back and maybe, was he jogging? Was that what it, Quinn? Or was he? Was he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking was jogging. Yep.
Yeah. I'm just guessing here, but maybe it's walking fast to get started. So again, just starting slowly. We build up strength in our muscles, we build up our feet, all those kind of things. It just takes time. That's what people paid me for as a personal trainer. My job was to slowly build people up, and that can be difficult to do. Most people want to do too much too soon, or they don't even know what the limitations are. So maybe fast walking, do a little hill work to get started, and then when you do jog, slow pace, and do the walk, run, breaks. That's probably the best way to do it. Is to run for a minute, and walk or jog for a minute, and then walk for 3 minutes. and then slowly build up over time. That's a great way to do it, so that the pounding isn't continuous, and that will be a great way to get started. That's how I start with so many new runners, is it's walk running. And over time you decrease the walk interval, you increase the run interval, but that takes time. So you might go 1 minute run, 3 minute walk, 90-second run, 2.5 minute walk, and slowly build up that way. But that's common, and I know it can be challenging. People say, I don't want to feel this way. It was hard enough to get on there, and now I'm sore after, but that will change over time. Great question. I mean, that is an awesome question.
Deborah offered a good tip too. She said Couch to 5K is a cool, Deanna, I don't know if you know about it, but it's a cool app that kind of gets you from doing nothing to basically being able to do a run a 5K. So that's a cool app if you're interested. That's a good suggestion, Deborah. Dora says that she took your advice, Tom, in regards to stretching, and she was able to do her 10-mile run, but she paced herself until she could run it all the way through. So that's awesome, Dora. Congrats.
I love it. Oh my gosh, Dora, congrats. And Deborah, you're absolutely right. There's so many options out there, but you want to do the right one. And this Couch to 5K is one. And I have to look at it. I haven't seen exactly how they periodize it out, but it must be working really well, because I've heard of so many people that have used it and used it well. And my guess is the success behind it is because it starts slowly. And Deborah, you can weigh in on this. It sounds like you know exactly. But it's all about a plan and starting slowly. And I 10 miles, that's, we were talking with some people over the last weekend. Running 3 miles is challenging. It's not that fun. 4 miles gets a little more fun. The longer you run, it's counterintuitive, I know, but the more fun it becomes. Your body gets warmed up. You get that runner's high. Yes, it takes a little while to get there. But congrats on a 10 mile. I mean, that is just awesome. And you got to feel great about that. You built up, you set your sights on something, and you did it. Doesn't mean that everyone needs to run 10 miles. 5K, that's 3 miles. That's generally, I would love for most people to be able to go out and jog 3 miles. That's 30 minutes, maybe 10-minute mile, maybe a little bit more, 11, 12, when you're just starting out, 13 even. But that's a great goal for so many people, regardless of age, fitness level. And just build up to that. So Couch to 5K, there's so many 5K races out there. Set a goal for yourself, and you may walk it. You may walk the first 5K. Who cares? You just want to cover that distance. That's what's the most important. So that's awesome, you guys. Thanks for sharing that. So again, we're talking about just the topic of the day, but we had so many other great questions, was how to make your cardio more fun. Do it with music, do it with people, do it with pets, mix it up, take it outside. Anyone else have anything they want to weigh in on cardio? Let me know. Let us know. Anything else come up? I can't believe this. This may be the quickest the hour flew by. Jeez.
We have some comments here. Deborah said to use the Couch 5K after surgery last year, and yes, it is a walk-run program that has you walking or jogging at intervals, and it's a great way to get started or to get back into it. Perfect. Thanks for that, Deborah, for more info. Daisha said she does feel soreness in her back and her knees when she works out. Will this get better as the weight is coming off? And also, will my knees heal themselves? I'm really scared about the possibility of getting to knee replacements.
Great question. Again, I would want to know a little bit more, so I'm going to be kind of broad here, Daisha. The short answer is yes, that the less weight we have on our bodies, the healthier our joints are going to be. So this is what I always talk about when people say running is bad for you. Running is not bad for you. It's not bad for our joints. The studies are there. Runners have a less incidence of osteoarthritis than non-runners. One of the main reasons for that is that runners weigh less, right? So the best thing we can do for our joints is take weight off, right? Because if you do the math, if someone runs 3 miles 3 times a week, that's like 90 minutes, right? That's 9 miles a week, maybe a half hour, a little bit more 3 times. 180 plus hours, however many hours in the week there are, if you have excess weight, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, that is putting stress on the joint all day long. So we want to go slowly with the cardio, Daisha, but we want to take the weight off. And you said your back and your knees. Yes, the less weight we have, the less we will have back pain and knee pain. What you do want to add in, though, Daisha, is the strength training, right? Basic stuff. So we want to take the weight off. We want to increase the cardio. And we want to strengthen the muscles around our joints, right? Our shoulders, our hips, our knees, slowly, steady, basic stuff. And that's the way to go. So great question. And yes, that's the counterintuitive thing. And that's what's so insidious about pain, right? You have back pain, so you do less because you don't want to make it worse. Well, when you do less, the muscles become weaker and weaker, and the pain becomes greater and greater. So that is why it is really important to find a fitness professional. Hopefully this show is part of that for you guys, who can help you slowly build up and make the right choices for your exercise program. Great questions.
Yeah, I must be reading your mind, because he suggested to YouTube your strength workout for runners. He said it helps the knees, and he suggested also getting a foam roller, because that stretching will help as well. Doris said her ultimate goal is to run the LA Marathon. Steve chimed in. He said he only runs 10 miles or more when it's 90 plus degrees, which sounds insane, Steve. Deborah countered that, which she'll only run 10 miles if it's 40 degrees or less.
I love that people are just talking about running 10 miles. Steve, you're nuts, but I get it. I'm with you. I love warm runs, and I love that you guys are talking about this because, you know, I know many of you now through different ways, and I know that many of you are challenging yourselves, and I want those of you who are maybe watching and listening and thinking you could never do that. This is how I always end the show. All the people who just weighed in, I guarantee you, didn't think they would ever say those things, that 10 miles, and I'm one of those people too, that 5 miles, 5K, 5 minutes was challenging. I was the guy on the bench with shin splints my entire high school career. So I just always want to end the show by saying, no matter what you think you're capable of, you can do so much more. That's what this show is about, is not only helping you get there physically, but there mentally, to believe that you can do that. I want, as I've said, as this show progresses, I want to hear so many more stories of successes. Use me and use the resources, all the people here, to help you answer the questions and get you there. The great questions Daisha and Dora and are asking help everyone. So that is truly amazing. And we got about 1 more minute here. Anything final that I don't want to miss, Quinn? What do we got? That's pretty much...
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Nothing final. Deanna just let Deborah know, which I believe Deanna's in Alaska, that Deborah would love where she lives. The weather here would make it so she could run 10 miles every day.
Yeah, I think Deborah might like the warmer weather a little bit more, right, than having that all the time. No. And that's what's awesome. That we got Deanna, we got Mary in the UK, we got people all around, Ken, everybody. Again, thanks for another great show. Ways to make cardio more fun. The other way, the fifth way, is mix up the cardio. It's so simple. So don't just mix up the workouts you do. If you're a runner or a walker, you do the intervals, you do low intensity, high intensity, but mix up the type. Okay, and do things. We joke all the time, but I am swimming a little bit more. It is a challenge. I know it's good for me. So the stuff we avoid doing is the stuff that's going to make us that much healthier, because we avoid doing it, right? So if you're a biker, run. If you're a runner, bike. If you're a swimmer, bike. If you're a biker, swim. So mix it up. The paddleboard. Do so many different things. That's the way you make cardio more fun. So you not only change the type of workout you do within your main cardio, but change the type of cardio. Music, people, change the workouts you do, change the cardio you do, mix it all up, make it more fun, because that's what it's about. So you guys, awesome. This hour went by way too quickly. I will be coming to you next week from Nantucket. I will have raw eggs. We're going to do the raw egg Rocky theme. Maybe I'll have the music, bring me back to my childhood and the workouts that got me inspired to do it. Email me with your breakfast. So Quinn told me September is National Breakfast Month. So every show we'll do a new healthy breakfast or 3. So let me know, th@teamholland.com. Glenn, I will answer your Ironman question in an email. And thank you guys. Thank you for being a part. Have a great week. and believe in yourself.